Welcome in. You're listening to Medical Spa Insider, presented by the American Med Spa Association. We are happy to have you with us. This week, we present a supersize episode as AmSpa founder Alex Thiersch sits down at the Medical Spa Show for 4 interviews about innovation, research, and the names at the forefront of aesthetic medicine. And if you want to always stay ahead of the curve, check out our membership benefits at AmericanMedSpa.org. First, an interview with Leslie Fletcher about the need to creating standards and best practices for the use of PDGF.
Welcome to Medical Spa Insider. Oh my God, you're just always so fashionable. Leslie Fletcher. So I'm so excited to have you. We're at Medical Spa Show.
Yep.
But we're here to talk about a few different things. First of all, thank you for coming. I know you've had a lot going on. You said that this was kind of a heavy conference, and I know what you mean, because it has been. We've discussed, for those of you who haven't been here and are listening to this or watching it, there has been some weighty discussions that we've had about things like PDGF and other things. And there's just been some, there's obviously some controversies in our industry and some infighting that we're dealing with. You've been at the center of a lot of this. You were on the panel at the very opening of the conference, which, by the way, was very well attended. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a very good panel as well. We got a lot of open, but how are you feeling about everything?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is. It feels a little bit ominous, right? And a bit of a pivotal moment for our field of medicine. And where is it going to go? And it sort of sets the stage for the trajectory of regenerative medicine as a whole. And maybe the acceleration of things happening prior to even FDA approvals and things like that, and innovation. So I'm at the heart of all of that. And innovation has always been super important to me.
Yeah.
But another thing that has always been super important to me that I kind of stand on is compliance and legality. And so I find myself at this kind of a fork in the road, right? Where I have 2 passions that are almost competing with each other, but I'm so passionate about innovation. I mean, I have a patent in dermal fillers. I've got 14 trademarks. I mean, I love innovation and intellectual property. But I also am known for being extremely compliant. So,
Well, and it's not only innovation in your intellectual property, it's innovation that is established and proven to be helpful to patient care, which is the other thing that you're
outcome.
extremely passionate about too.
Mhm.
So throw that kind of sprinkle on top.
Yes. I mean, and that's actually the biggest part of the problem is the outcomes are with this particular procedure.
You're talking about PDGF.
Yes.
Ish.
Specifically PDGF, because that's, to me, I feel like it does have a legal leg to stand on as far as, its research, 140 publications,
Yeah.
28 years of research. So there's a lot of research to back it up to give me that comfortability to inject it, where some of the other newer products and other biologics, I don't feel comfortable doing. So,
Yeah.
but the outcomes that I've seen with this particular procedure is like I've never seen before. And my patient, the highest satisfaction of anything we do,
Yeah.
hands down. They're checking out, making their next appointment because they're so excited about this.
Even during the procedure.
Right
So
away. Yeah. There's a
okay.
huge influx of hyaluronic acid that comes immediately after the procedure. So they're seeing a kind of a head start of what those results will be like. And they're already like, where else can I put this? So what I like to say is, like, the cat's out of the bag, the genie's out of the bottle. Like, it's going to be very hard to put this back in.
Yeah.
So I took it upon myself to figure out the legal framework to do this compliantly, to be able to kind of check all of the boxes that are super important to me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like, and you tell me, I know there's been a lot of, there's been like a storm kind of outside on social media, which has sucked. I mean, the social media aspect to all of this with you and Julie Bass Kaplan and others, kind of at the middle of it and being under attack frankly, by a lot of folks has been difficult to watch and unfair. I don't think good for anybody, and I don't understand it. I feel, though, from what I've seen from a distance being here at the conference, is it seems like overwhelmingly the people here are supportive of you. And there's been a very, very a big outpouring of support for what you're doing, regardless of where they stand
Right.
on the legalities. Do you
Right.
feel that as well?
I do. I do. And I think that comes from, I mean, both Julie and I have 25, 26 years in
Yeah.
this field. We have kind of a reputation on being an
Yes.
ethical,
You're safe.
compliant, safe,
You're not, yeah.
research driven providers. And
Right.
so people look to us as sort of that North Star of like, okay, if they think it's okay, it must be. And I know that a lot of people aren't comfortable being public about what they're doing. So it is nice to get that feedback from people. We were sitting here and 3 people walked by and said, thank you for what you're
Yeah.
doing, because
I
it
saw.
affects their business too. It affects their practice and their patients.
Yeah.
They also know the outcomes
Yeah.
are superior.
Well, it's just a human thing.
Yeah.
We're all like, you're not, this is something I'm very passionate about. You are not the problem that we're facing in this industry. Like there are, like when we were at the FDA panel, which has just happened this morning, someone pointed out, there's all these folks who are buying counterfeit product who aren't licensed. Like those are the people that are literally destroying our industry and undercutting, taking the legs out, making it difficult for us. It is not Leslie Fletcher and Julie Kaplan. And the fact that there's, we're eating our own and at that level, whereas not banding together to put our resources towards the real issue, that's so deflating to me.
Right. Right. Yeah. There are definitely bigger fish to fry.
I mean, by orders of magnitude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
And so, it begs the question, why is this particular procedure
yeah.
bringing up so much controversy and so much polarizing emotions from people,
Yeah.
when there are plenty of other things that they could be expending their energy on that would be much more helpful?
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good question that people should think about, right? Unfortunately, in this day and age of social media, people read on social media and they just tend to believe it, and that's where they go, which is frustrating at times. You were at the FDA panel, which, by the way, they these were 2 senior high-level regulatory attorneys from the FDA. They were, now that being said, not to say it was like super duper helpful or clarifying, but they were here to help with the outreach and the dialogue. Anything surprise you from what they had to say? Anything that stood out?
I think what was most surprising, I listened the whole time, kind of looked at, okay, I'm doing that, I'm doing that, I'm doing that. Okay, I'm not doing that. Okay, I'm good so far. Everything is good. And
Yeah.
I was kind of going into it expecting to hear some things or surprising things that maybe I could be doing better. I was feeling very good about it. The last question that was asked with 30 seconds remaining, I might add,
Yep.
was someone asked that they injected PDGF and unapproved substances, and what were their thoughts.
Yeah.
And I think the most surprising thing for me is what they didn't say. They did
Yeah.
not say, we don't advise you to inject an unapproved product.
Yeah.
They did not say that, and they have the opportunity to say that.
Yeah.
They talked about the practice of medicine.
Yes.
And he said, now we're getting into the practice of medicine,
Exactly.
and we don't want to address that. It's not within
Yes.
what we can say.
Yes.
And to me, that answer was what I needed to hear, is that as a clinician, we have that ability to make those choices for our patients based on our research, based on their needs, based on any alternative treatments that could be better in that particular area or safer.
Yeah.
And if there aren't any, giving those patients those options with informed consent, verbal and written, and proper training and proper documentation and proper malpractice coverage. So all the things that we teach when I teach how to treat patients with this particular product. It's not just a quick, easy, I think I'm going to order it and I'll do it this way and I'll learn how to do it on Instagram. Like, you have to take the responsibility gravely that if you're going to inject something that is not approved for injections, you have to be able to stand and defend the rationale of why you did that for the patient.
Yes. And you have to at the same time, make sure that you're checking all the other boxes
Yes.
as far as compliance go.
Right.
And not
It's not as easy as it seems.
right.
But it's worth, for me, it's worth fighting for because of those outcomes. And so I'm doing it for my patients because these are areas and types of patients that I could not treat with my current armamentarium of care.
Yeah.
So it fills a gap for me. This is not a Me Too product. And
Yeah.
if it was, I wouldn't expend this kind of energy on it
Yeah.
because I already have stuff to do it. But
Yeah.
these are filling this product's filling gaps for me
Yeah. That's
and my patients.
I when he said that as well. And the reason there was a reason he dropped, I knew somebody was going to drop that bomb
Yeah.
right at the end. I didn't want to do that at the beginning because I knew they were only going to have that answer and they weren't going to be able to, hang on one sec. Cut. Hey guys, can you wait like a few minutes and we'll have you jump on? Like 10?
Hey, Trevor. How are
And then we'll have you guys on? Okay. All right. Yes, we have nobody before noon. Yeah, 10, nobody. All right, thank you. All right. And we're back. Sorry. Interruptions. I knew that was going to just be like that. We were going to talk about that the whole time, right? But I still want to talk. I want to get them back or get them on a webinar or something, and really dig into that because I agree that that was a very, very telling statement about the practice of medicine, and he had that regulatory attorney knew about PDGF. I sent him all of the stuff in
Yeah, he said
advance.
he's heard about it. He knows it, and he's still
yes. And interestingly, he didn't know about it before I had spoken with him.
okay, and that's also very telling.
Yes. So they were not aware of this going in. Not necessarily surprising. Now, maybe now he wasn't. That doesn't mean that the other parts of the agency weren't, right? Because this is not really his part. That said, there are other areas of the agency that we could reach out to and talk to. Meaning, this is not necessarily his area, but there's a lot more we can do. Is what I'm saying.
Right.
A lot more we can do, and we need to. We need to figure out where the lines are drawn.
Yeah, and they gave that resource of checking the FDA website for warnings and issued those letters. I check that all the time, and because that's kind of one of our sources of information, and there's nothing there, and until there is,
I agree.
Business as usual.
Well, and if there's that's what I was saying to him. It's like there's one warning letter against a med spa. It's like, ooh, out of the
But that was for importation of Botox. They were claiming they were selling Botox, but it was importation. That's a very different story.
Very different. That's what I mean. Like all the other thing, like you can't issue warning labels against people who are unregulated practicing, against the law, right? So and I think they recognize that. I think the other thing that was a little bothersome to me, and this is not against him in particular, it's just he said a lot of things. That's the state boards got to deal, go into that. And I'm just like, oh God, the state boards are just awful at this.
Very tough to deal with.
Yeah,
they don't even know.
No,
honestly. And this field is so nuanced and it's so niche that people don't get all the ins and outs of it, especially at this level. I mean, they just don't understand. It's not like it's seen every day and things like that. So I think it's going to take some education on our part to them and vice versa, and working with them so we can all feel really comfortable with what we're doing. But I mean, there's a lot of things that people are doing in this field that are controversial, that are, aren't cut and dry, like the exosomes and the peptides and some of these things that, are a little bit more risky when it comes to your licensure.
Yeah. What's your kind of thought on all that? We didn't get too much into that in the panel because we didn't have that much time. We were stuck primarily into the PDGF, but we're just kind of scratching the surface on what else is coming, what's out there. I think to your point, PDGF is a lot more defined, in quotes, air quotes, than some of the others, but literally, but what are your thoughts on the peptides and exosomes?
Well, I mean, there has been FDA warnings against exosomes. So I've looked at that. And to me, a warning letter from the FDA is pretty clear. I'm not going to touch that.
Yeah. Yeah.
in an implantable type of way. Injections and topical fine, but not even open skin, because now it qualifies as an injectable once your skin is open.
Yeah.
So I don't even put it on after microneedling for that purpose.
Yeah.
Yep, because of the warning letters. I can't ignore that. If there was a warning letter against PDGF that came out tomorrow, I would stop. It would be very hard to do, though. It would be very hard to do. I would make sure I got all mine in before that letter came out.
Before you opened
Before
the
I
envelope.
clicked open. Because personally, it's been very dramatic for me. It has transformed my toxin durability, my forehead. I don't know if you've seen, but I did like a split face for 4 months. I only did half my forehead, and the other half moved. The one I treated did not move.
Well, explain that. What do you mean? Like treating one half which way and the other half the other way?
One half with PDGF and the other half with nothing.
Okay.
And then watch the toxin durability.
Okay.
And it was incomparable. I mean, even to this day, it's been about 18 months. And to this day, I have just a little bit of movement on the first side, but the other side, no movement.
Huh.
Because this is, maybe wearing off, or maybe I didn't get a few spots, but it's been, 18 months. So for patients who are toxin resistant, for patients who have a very low lying forehead, or who can't handle more than a few units up there because their brows get heavy, I mean, it has been a game changer for them.
Yeah. What else? Like, how else has this impacted you?
I mean, patients who maybe I have more mature patient population. Are you talking about different patients?
Yes, start with that.
Yeah. So a lot of them are maybe not interested in the repeatability of neurotoxins. They usually use their investments into fillers. So we do a kind of a full face filler, but they're like, I'm just not a Botox girl. I'm not a toxin girl because I don't want to come in here 3 times a year. I have bangs. That's always the lady's response. And now, with this PDGF option, I can treat them like I would be treating with neurotoxins for the frown, for the forehead, for around the eyes. They're getting a great brow lift. And it is something that is going to be, at least 18 months, I can promise, because that's how long I've had mine. And
nice.
so the value for that patient is there, because some of these patients just don't want to do the repeatability of these types of seasonal drugs that we have, like our neurotoxins.
Yeah.
But they'll invest in the fillers because they're long lasting.
Yeah. I'm not sure the toxin manufacturers are going to like that very much.
I'm a trainer for Allergan. I immediately met with the R&D team on this.
Did you?
I did, because I was convinced that this was either affecting muscle memory or modulating the muscle with the crusher.
Do I have an idea why it's happening?
I have a whole paper written on it, ready to go. I'm just waiting for the climate to change a little bit. But no, I do. I have lots of theories and hypotheses of how it's working. Firstly, skin tensile strength is really important in collapsing when we move. So that's the first obvious answer. The skin is thicker and healthier. It's not going to collapse when you animate. But it's more than that, because the inability to animate actually happens within minutes. Frankly, I have videos of people who cannot raise their eyebrows after they had the PDGF. So there's another element of
something else,
myomodulation, or just maybe even releasing some of the structures between the skin and the muscle. But then, as the treatment, as the procedure kind of tends to do its thing, where it's, kind of recruiting some angiogenesis and recruiting cells to fibroblasts to stimulate and grow, then that inability to animate happens again. And that is what is very long lasting. And just the skin quality. I mean, I treated my left hand and not my right, and I can't go anywhere without people saying, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah,
I mean,
that
you
is
look at like that compared to this.
that is very noticeable.
So not only does it do volume loss, but it does skin tensile strength, and the color is different. My husband, I did the same thing. One hand of his is, dark and red, and the other hand is bright and luminous.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. It just it checks a lot of boxes for
Yeah.
patients.
That's That's awesome. I mean, it really is cool. And when I talk to folks about it, you can feel the passion and the belief. And it's unfortunate that we're kind of where we are. And I don't think we needed to be.
Mm-mm.
I don't think it needed to go this route. And it's really so. Well, about me, it's time. Just I don't know. Overall, we'll get through this. You'll get through it.
We will get
and I think it's going to be better for you in the long run. I think it's going to be better for the industry.
Yeah.
Might take a little bit to get there, but what did you learn?
I mean, I think for me, where it's led is the importance has always been for me on proper training and proper technique, because with any procedure, especially a new in class like this one, if you do it wrong, you're going to have side effects.
Yeah.
And the thing with this procedure, there is no reversal agent for this, because the side effects that you can have, the fibrosis, a little bit of the angiogenesis, the angiogenesis will always be temporary, but the fibrosis, there's no reversal agent. So we have to teach people how to not get fibrosis.
Yes.
And to me, the crux of the success of this product coming into this field is in the training.
It's going to be training.
And of course, the company's not doing this because this is, off-label, unapproved, whatever, training. And so the onus is on whoever is writing the standard of care to this.
Yeah.
In this case, since I have been doing it the longest, or me and Julie, I think, and I do a lot of it, I think writing that curriculum was really pivotal as well.
Yeah.
For the trajectory, because the injection technique is different. There's a lot of factors, depth, and just placement of the product and consistency when you're putting it in, not going too fast because it responds to trauma.
Mm-hmm.
So if you put it in with trauma, you're going to get more effect. The product will work better. Mm-hmm. So you have to put it in atraumatically. And what does that look like? I have to show people how atraumatically we put this in.
Yeah.
This is not a bolus type situation.
Yeah.
Because your results will be in a bolus.
Yeah.
And you may not want that.
Right. Well, let's get you back to talk about the training part of it specifically and the curriculum, because I'm not know about all that. That'll be a more in-depth
cover,
conversation.
Of course, the legalities and the compliance and the malpractice. The first 2 hours is on that, and then we move into technique.
Yeah, because I would love to hear more about that, and I think that's great. And kudos to you. Congratulations on everything. I think this is going to be a game changer eventually.
Yep. Yeah, we're just living it live. This all happened before with Botox.
Yeah, that's right.
The transition between that and Botox therapeutic, but they didn't have social media right now.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's
so we're just living it out. Everyone's seeing everything that's happening, 25 years ago.
Yeah.
We just get to see it now. Pretty clear.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate what you're doing. Obviously, keep us posted. We're here for you. We'll schedule something in the near future and get you to more on the training. Thank you for stopping by. This has been great. I appreciate all of your talks and everything. It's been a pleasure. And I think you're doing amazing things for the industry. And I can tell from anybody here that everyone thinks so as well.
Good.
Next, Alex sits down with Sonya Ellis about what she's learned over her career about the speed of innovation.
All right, welcome to the program, Medical Spa Show Live, Medical Spa Insider at Medical Spa Show Live, I should say. This is the first podcast we're doing at Medical Spa Show. Today is Thursday, and we are very, very blessed to have the first guests.
I'm honored.
And you don't need to be honored, because we are honored to have you here. Sonya Ellis from the lab, right?
Yes, in South Lake, Texas.
South Lake, Texas. You've been in the industry for a long time.
Yes. I've been a nurse for over 30 years. I've been in plastic surgery and aesthetics for 25 years.
Wow.
And I've been injecting for over 20 years.
I mean, that's a long time.
Oh, very long. I'm a dinosaur.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. But I will say, when I first was exposed to medical spas, that was like 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
And then learning about the history of medical aesthetics. I mean, you're going back to when it was first developed.
I just barely missed Botox coming out when I started, and we only had 2 fillers. So we had Resty, and then which was called Perlane back then. That's how old I am. And then we had a Juvederm Ultra Plus. That was it.
Yeah, and like that's it. And then
we had collagen and we had Artiplast.
And
Those
then,
were our,
and then the lasers just would like burn your entire down to the bone, basically.
Yeah, only the physicians did lasers back then because we did CO2 in the OR.
Oh my goodness! Did you ever had a CO2 laser?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my!
They're fabulous.
Are they?
Yes.
I mean, wouldn't you come out looking like a Freddy Krueger?
Yes.
Oh man,
But worth it.
But I mean, I'm telling you, those are. When I first was exposed to aesthetics, lasers terrified me.
Yeah.
So because I just like that's what I would see. You would see.
Well, you just don't have to go for the CO2 anymore. There's
I know.
so many more
Thank
better
God.
options at this point where
Yeah.
you've got the healthy tissue, with the damaged tissue, it heals a lot faster. We also have better topical agents, to heal people faster. So
do they still do CO2?
But I still love a good CO2.
Yeah,
Oh,
really?
absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man! Well, first of all, have you? Welcome to the Med Spa show.
Thank
Have
you.
you been here before?
Absolutely,
Okay,
yes.
Awesome.
I can't remember which year we did the boot camp. I want to say it was 2016, 2017,
Okay, yeah.
somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And then we've just been members ever since.
Okay, good.
So,
And Vegas, this is your first time coming to our show in Vegas?
Nope.
Okay.
We've been to Vegas, I think, 3 times now.
Okay, so this is old.
Yes.
You know your way around.
Yes.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, we're very excited. We're just getting kicked off, and it's very weird. This is like the start of a marathon, so I'm still like not even quite settled in yet, but like it's all starting to hit me. Like, oh my God, this is actually happening. These things come around so fast.
It's like throwing a party with all your favorite people, and you can't get to everybody. Or that's how I would feel about it.
It's like, I was just now, like I was up doing a talk on the law, and I had to run to the restroom, and like it takes 20 minutes just because you see everybody and like, hey, how's it going?
You probably saw somebody in the restroom.
Yes, it was a long visit.
That's what happens to me. Everybody thought I met you in the bathroom or I met you at the bar, and I was like, that tracks.
Yeah. So we are going to talk about mentorship, which is cool. But first, tell me about the lab. What's it like? What's your practice like?
So I never wanted to own my own practice. It was really funny. I was always very happy working with a plastic surgeon.
And I learned that from actually Steve and Diane, who's speaking tomorrow. The power of saying no to somebody, it brings you lifetime value from that patient because they trust you.
Absolutely.
And people forget that and they go after the short-term dollar as opposed to the long-term. So I think that's right. In Texas, it's such a crazy market right now.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I love my state, but I hate my state as far as like our field, our expertise in medicine goes. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I do not agree with a lot of the stuff that goes on, and I do not train non-licensed people in my office. We do not hire non-licensed people in our office to inject. And so I am not part of the problem, but it's a big problem.
Yeah. It's, Texas is just an interesting state because they do have, believe it or not, fairly strong regulations in Texas. It's like,
it's weird what they're strong on though. Like laser hair removal. Oh gosh. Like, no, don't do that. But like, go ahead, put a needle in somebody's face. Right. But we have a plastic surgeon as one of our medical directors. I'm on the board of the International Society of Plastic Surgery and Aesthetic Nursing. And so I do believe in core physicians. And then my husband also works with me. He's also a physician, and he's on site all day long.
That's awesome.
So I feel like we're doing it better than most. We try.
Yeah. It's tough because you see so much non-compliance. It's hard to have an even playing field, and we need to have an even playing field.
It would be nice.
It would be very nice. So why are you passionate about mentorship, and why do you want to talk about that?
Okay, so mentorship took me a really long time to figure out because obviously we spend a lot of money on our education as aesthetic and plastic surgery providers. I think the average spend is $20,000. I think somebody told me it's about $20,000, which I'm not shocked about at all. Just one course can be $6,000 to $8,000. Just one conference can be about that much.
Yeah, and I wonder if that the 20,000 even includes like travel.
It might not.
I mean,
it might not. It might be just the classes that you're taking.
Yeah.
And you think about these new people that are coming or wanting to get into our expertise in medicine, and think about what that means for them. Like, and I'm not saying that they should not pay their dues. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying we should pay it forward, like, and find a way to help them out, to where it doesn't cost them an arm and a leg. So I just thought about it for years and years and years. And I was like, how am I going to do this to where they don't pay me, but I don't pay them? Like, what are we going to do? So I came up with a mentorship program where they sign up for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or a year, and they come and learn how to be my medical assistant in my room. It is literally like a shadowing opportunity, but they have to be there once a week. And imagine what that person is going to learn in 3 months. And every month that they're with me, they get 1 hour of free hands-on training. So that is 3 hours of hands-on training that they're getting after 3 months of shadowing. So they're learning everything that they need to in that room slowly. I'm also sending them home with homework and tests and quizzes. And then we have the hands-on training. Everybody who's gone through our mentorship program that's serious about the program has gotten a job.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's so cool.
And gotten a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you, first of all, is there...
Because I can't keep them all. But the other reason I run the mentorship program is because I'm from Texas. So, I want to keep one in the chamber. If one of my girls, sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
No, I mean,
the radio. But, one of the things that happens in our area of profession is that we train these people and then they leave us and then they go start their own business and they take their patient database with them. So if you are a very smart business owner, you really do want to have always something in the works because you just never know when that's going to happen to you. It has not happened to me yet. Both of my girls have been with me for 7 years. They seem to be happy. They've already finished out their contract. And so they don't owe me anything. They can leave at any time, but I'm glad that they're happy.
That's so cool.
But I still want to keep one in the chamber.
Well, I mean, it's not a bad idea. I mean, I've heard that from many, many people who build successful businesses. You're always hiring. You're never not looking for talent. What, is there like an application process?
Yes. So I can only take 2 at a time. Okay. And then I do have 3 other injectors that work in my office and they can take mentees as well if they want to, but I don't make them. It's, This is my heart. It's not their heart.
Are they doing it?
They do.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one of them actually does all the training for me with the mentees. Because I don't do basic training anymore. So they shadow with me, but I don't train them at the end. One of my nurses, Natalie, she's fabulous.
So this is, even if you're a physician or whatever it is, you want to become a mentee, like you're going to shadow just like anybody else, doesn't matter.
So MDs can come, NPs, PAs, and RNs. Those are those are the only people that can sign up for this program.
That's really, it's really, I think, and we've flirted at AmSpa with trying to set up some sort of a mentor-mentee thing. It's really difficult though, because it's like, number one, how do you structure it? But I feel like there's not a good mentor-mentee funnel in aesthetics, and it's missing because you're absolutely right. Like it's not just, of course, there's the training, there's the clinical training side of it, but it's just everything else. It's navigating this crazy world that we live in, right?
Well, and also I make sure that they've been in the hospital for a year before they even come to me. You have to have worked in the hospital or a medical setting for a year that is not aesthetics. I don't want you just trying to funnel your way straight into aesthetics.
And why is that? Why do you do that?
I think it matters. I met a nurse one day. The patient was vasovagaling on the table and she didn't know what to do. She was completely freaked out, wanted to call the ambulance. And I was like, we're nurses. Why are we calling the ambulance? This is something very easy for us to fix. And you should know that. And the fact that you don't tells me you need to get in the hospital and you need to go see some stuff and you need to take care of some stuff because we are nurses first. We are an aesthetic nurse second.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And they also have to have taken at least 1 weekend course. Like you have to show me that you have some sort of skin in the game. Like this is not just a fast pass into aesthetics, like for free, that, you have to have some money down on it.
Are you getting tons of applications?
Yes, but sometimes it's so funny. It'll wax and wane. Like sometimes 6 will sign up at a time. And of course, we have to space them out, especially if sometimes my other girls need a break. And they say, okay, I need a break. I don't want a mentee for like 3 months or so. And I'm fine with that. I don't ever take breaks. I've always got a little duck behind me. One tried to follow me into the bathroom, and I was like, I'm just going to the bathroom.
But I need to know how to do it. That is, I think that's really cool. And kudos to you for doing that. I think there's a huge need I wish more folks would do that. The application that people, first of all, where can folks find it if there's something?
Well, I'm so glad that you let me come on today. I'm glad that you let me talk about this today. I wanted to get it out there because I would love for more people to do this.
I think I would love to talk about it more and like try to get folks to duplicate it.
And what I will say is if anybody is interested in doing this in your office, I will give you all my contracts. I will give you all of my setup, everything for free. Just email me at sonya@thelabmedspa.com and I will give you this whole mentorship program for free. And you can implement it in your own office.
That's so cool. And it's Sonya, Sony.
Yes, YA. Okay. Yes. Thank you.
So first of all, that's very generous of you to do that. Do you ever get people from out of state?
No, I haven't had anybody out of state yet. I did have somebody that wanted to come in and she was like, can I fast pass it? Like, she was like, can I be with somebody every day, for like 2 weeks and then, get the hands-on training at the end? We did let her do that. Something about her child being sick or something, and her mom was going to come down, and I was like, I'll go ahead and let you do that. But it was the only time that we let somebody like do everything all at once.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
that's so cool. Well, first of all, I really appreciate you coming
to the Medical
Spa Show, and it's great to have you here. What's next? I mean, world domination?
Yeah, why not? Like, no. My husband is here. We're both speaking for you guys this year, so thank you very much for that opportunity. I think we have a conference every 2 weeks for the next 3 months.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
So. This is our season and we're just going to be very tired, but I love it.
It is. It's fun and exhausting, but I've actually cut way back because I used to do that too. And so good for you though.
Yeah.
Good for you. Well, thank you for coming. Appreciate it. This is awesome.
Thank you.
Summer is coming. And if you're running a med spa, that means consultations are up, the phone is ringing more, and your team is stretched thin. But how many of those calls are actually getting answered? And how many high-value clients are you sending to voicemail or worse to your competitor? If you don't know the answer, it's costing your med spa thousands in revenue and preventing you from scaling. CallRail fixes that. CallRail's AI voice assistant, Voice Assist, answers and qualifies calls the moment they come in, whether you're with a client or out of the office. So you're not missing your next high-value consultation. While Voice Assist is handling those calls, CallRail automatically captures exactly which marketing channel drove those leads. So when summer winds down, you're not guessing what worked. You'll know, and you can scale it. That's why over 225,000 businesses, including top-performing med spas, trust CallRail. Try it free for 14 days, no credit card required, at callrail.com/AmSpa. That's callrail.com/AmSpa.
And now a conversation with Saami Khalifian on his work with the Allergan training centers and the importance of supporting research.
Welcome to the podcast, Saami. Tell me a little bit about yourself, where you are, where you're from, what you're doing, what's your spick?
Yeah. So I'm Saami Khalifian. I'm a double board certified dermatologist. I'm based out of Encinitas, California, in San Diego. I'm the executive medical director for Allergan Medical Institute training centers. Also all the brick and mortar training centers. Helped craft a lot of the curricular content for Allergan domestically and globally. And I'm also the chief medical editor of Modern Aesthetics Magazine, which is a periodical that comes out every other month. And sort of just like what's new and hot and interesting in aesthetics. I'm the chairman of the Proof of Life Foundation, which is a foundation that serves the survivors of violence, and so to basically remove the stigmata of their systemic abuse. And that service is done for free. And we raise funds to basically make it possible for those survivors to have restorative care to reclaim their lives. So I got my finger in a couple different things, do a lot of clinical trials, do a lot of teaching, do a lot of traveling.
I feel like you should be doing more.
I have a little bit more bandwidth. I have a little bit more bandwidth. But I do these things because I like it and it's fun for me, and so it doesn't feel like work because there's a Venn diagram of all of these things, how they come together, and so the key is to try, like, I do think balance is not a real thing. I don't think that's something that
well, it depends what you're balancing, right?
Yeah, maybe, but I think like I've never been able to, it's been elusive to me my whole life. I think
that means you're balancing the right things.
Yeah. And I think it's funny because when I was younger, I used to think I was lazy. And then when I got older, I was like, was I lazy or am I just like focused on different things? So clearly I'm not that lazy, but it's been fun, dude. It's been, I feel like I'm in a good place where I'm doing a lot of interesting things and I'm liking what I'm doing, creating synergies and also helping other people create synergies. And I think that's been super interesting in cultivating communities, building frameworks for people to expand their careers, expand their horizons and like lift people up.
So have you been to Medical Spa Show before? Have you been here?
I have.
Yeah. A couple of things you mentioned that I would love to talk about because it's really cool. First of all, I love the Jordans.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you. Jordans are a key part of my attire.
They are mine. I got some I'm putting on tonight for sure, 100%. Did the AMI training institutes are amazing. So, and you were involved in, what was your involvement in that as far as putting those together?
So I've been working with them since day one on the training centers.
Because those things are crazy.
Yeah, so they're a huge undertaking, and there's a lot that goes into it beyond the physical structure.
Oh yeah.
So effectively, the AMI training centers are medical practices, right? We are seeing patients. There's trainees that are under people's licenses. There's high volumes of people moving through. There's a framework of curriculum that has to be designed that can create methodical results that are reproducible, reliable, safe. Our key things that are important to me are obviously patient safety, patient satisfaction, trainee safety, trainee satisfaction.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of different, moving parts, and, we're doing it across multiple states.
Yes.
We have Irvine, we have Atlanta, Austin is coming online in the summer. Yep. And so it's interesting. You also have to navigate things that I, previously wasn't as savvy towards. For example, overcoming regulatory hurdles around, the practice of medicine across state lines.
Yep.
Leveraging the training of individuals who are licensed in some states, but not in the state that necessarily you are practicing in, right? Yep. So there is a lot of complexity, and each state has its own idiosyncrasies that are unique. And so it's like you might figure out California and Georgia, and then all of a sudden Texas is online. And then
when you're bringing folks from all over the country into California, it's not so
right. So actually, California becomes the most challenging to train outsiders.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta and Austin are the easiest because it's just the way the states are set up. It's much easier to do that. So California really serves as a hub to train Californians and those that are willing to get actual licensing through the state of California in California. Yeah. Whereas the other states, there's compact licenses, and Texas, it's like a whole different pathway altogether.
So you think that's where it's going to go more, where Irvine will be kind of the hub for California?
Yeah, I think they'll start doing different things. I think Irvine and Atlanta may do more like cadaveric stuff, and Austin becomes more like hands-on.
Yeah.
But I think the key thing that I see here is if you zoom out and you figure you have all these new providers coming online each year.
Yeah.
And when you consider like the objections of patients, there's typically two. Like, how much is this going to cost, and fear of an unnatural outcome. Mm-hmm. The how much does this cost, I can't control. But at least the fear of an unnatural outcome is something for which education can provide a framework to allow for people to get consistency and not alienize people or make people look weird or whatever it might be. And so right now, what we're seeing also is, this is the first time ever where people are going from training programs, whether it be nursing school or what have you, straight into aesthetics.
Yes.
Previously, it was, you might go to the hospital for a little while, be in the ICU, whatever it is. Yep. You have some medical background, and then you go into aesthetics.
How do you feel about that, by the way?
Well, I think, therefore, it just makes it much more important that we have structured learning. Yeah. And so to that end, consider that even in core specialties, plastic surgery, dermatology, oculoplastics, the amount of actual hands-on training for injectables specifically is low. Meaning that, where I trained, which is a very good institution, we had like 1 or 2 days of Botox a year, 1 or 2 days of filler a year, 1 or 2 days of laser a year, unless you purposefully sought it out. Right. And even then, it was still limited. But what we're creating is a longitudinal educational experience that delves into not just how do you make it pretty, but how do you address a problem? How do you you get into consultation and assessment in a way that actually aligns your interests with the patients and make sure that you understand them, right? And build rapport quickly and also deliver an excellent outcome. So there's quite a bit there. And then layer into that further business development that can be, you know, a part of this program, building out their spaces, cadaver labs, patient safety, practice management, like all of this is layered into it. So it's like soup to nuts really that we can offer here at a center that's like also beautiful and spectacular.
It is. It is. When I went out there to visit it, I was like, damn.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And I have not been to Atlanta, and I know Austin is opening up.
Irvine's the coolest.
Irvine, is it? Okay.
Yeah, Irvine's the coolest.
Good.
Yeah,
I went to
Irvine's
the cool
the
one.
coolest.
That's awesome. You know what? The cool part was the treatment rooms that you could just like pick. I'll take that one.
Exactly. And so that's what I'm talking about. So like if you like that room, you're like, you can go to the alley bar and like pick, I want this chair, I want this floor, I want this whatever, and literally build out your space.
So, you know, you first of all, double board certified dermatology. What does that mean, by the way?
So I'm board certified in dermatology and board certified in Mohs surgery. So Mohs micrographic surgery is, you know, reconstructive surgery, post-skin cancer surgeries and things like that.
Understood.
And so my background actually originally was in plastics. So I was part of the team that did the most extensive face transplant ever performed.
No way.
And we published that in the Lancet back in like 2014. So I first authored that paper, and that was something where my focus was predominantly on the immunology of the face transplants.
Were you actually a plastic surgeon?
So I was in the research laboratory that facilitated the bringing this forth to reality. And so because surgically you can do it, but from a scientific perspective, the scientific progresses to allow for these transplants that are not life-saving, they're life-changing. So consider that you're an arm amputee, or you've had your face, blown off or mauled by a bear or whatever it is. To change, we can change your life by giving you a limb or giving you a new face, right? But we're not saving your life in the same way that a heart transplant or a lung transplant might. But the cost for both of these is lifelong multi-drug, high-dose systemic immunosuppression, which then gives you cancer, immune dysfunction, opportunistic infections, metabolic derangements. So then, if you want to make this a reality, the key is not the surgical side, it's how do you induce tolerance to these grafts. And the thing that fails is the skin. The skin rejects. If the skin of your arm rejects, your arm transplant rejects, you're an amputee again. If the skin of your face transplant rejects, you're going to die. Because it took 2 years to find you this face, we're not going to find you another face. So the face transplant program was a higher risk program. And we did all this with the Department of Defense, because you can imagine where this type of transplants becomes most useful is in the context of soldiers who've had, what would have previously have been life-ending injuries. Now they survive because of whatever, armor that we have for them, but their lives are horribly altered.
Right.
And so how do we rebuild them? So the DoD was a big funder of this type of research. So anyways, long story short, my role in this was immunology. And that caused me ultimately to pivot from plastics to skin and therefore dermatology. But now I have this crossroads of like plastic surgery, dermatology, cutaneous immunology. And that's actually quite useful for a pharma company, especially like AbbVie, who is an immunology company, has a plastic surgery vertical, has an aesthetics vertical. So there's quite a bit of overlap between like what I do and what they do. And so the relationship's been quite harmonious and synergistic.
And you actually thought you had a thought that you were lazy at some point?
I thought that at one point. I truly did. I truly did. I was like, I just like to chill, man. And I'm like, no, you're a workaholic, bro.
You don't seem like you're that old either. So
I'm 39.
So
I'm 39.
you've accomplished more in that than I have in like a long time. So I know several levels and different types of dermatologists. Most derms that I know have been very supportive of what we're doing of MSS, non-physician providers. There is a subset of them that has been very much anti. And I don't quite understand that. And I guess there's some plastic surgeons that are like that too. And just like there's physicians and med spa owners that don't like dentists. It's like we got to get all that. We got to bridge those gaps. How do we do that?
Yeah, I mean, look, here's the reality. Like, whether you like it or not, this is the reality.
Yes.
Right?
That's I've been telling them that for years.
So the idea that you're going to somehow turn back the hands of time, this is a fantasy.
But they don't like that argument.
I know, but that's the reality.
I know,
like,
but they don't.
It's like if your milk spills, are you going to cry over the milk spilling, or are you going to get another glass of milk? So I think the way I see this is, the key is training all of these providers to be successful, because their success lifts all tides.
Yes.
So when you have bad outcomes in the industry, it's bad for everybody. What we see with filler fatigue nowadays is part and parcel of bad outcomes. It's not the filler's fault if there's a bad outcome, it's the provider's fault if there's a bad outcome. In the same way that if you get a facelift, it's not the scalpel's fault if it's good or bad, it's the provider's fault if it's good or bad. And so we cannot lose a tool because people who are new to the field may have not the most superior of outcomes, right? So then in my view, our job is to responsibly shepherd the public trust by stewarding them through educational paradigms that make them proficient. That's good for everybody. It's good for patients, it's good for them, it's good for me. And as far as we view, for example, the dermatology societies that are anti, well, look, I guarantee in the practices of most dermatologists, there are non-core physicians performing these services. It's a bit of a...
are there, though? I mean, it's that's the thing.
In many of the practices that I've been a part of, including my own, I have non-physician providers, and they're excellent.
No,
look,
I know there are.
And the reality is this. What I do best is innovate, is bridge us to the next sort of, where's the future going? If I teach someone my technique that I've done 1,000 times, it doesn't scare me if they learn my technique, because by the time you've done this 1,000 times, I've probably gone on to another thing, and I'm going to teach you that too. And it's my honor and privilege to teach you this, because I want to advance this field. And some of the best providers are non-physicians. Let me give you an example. Yesterday, I did a live injection demonstration with Leslie Fletcher and Julie Bass-Kaplan with Allergan. And after, Leslie did an amazing job. Her and I injected totally opposite. And Leslie did all cannula, I did all needle. So everyone got to see two different performances, styles, right? Yeah. And then I've been wanting to bend Julie Bass-Kaplan's ear for a long time, because she's the neurotoxin aficionado, right?
Yeah.
She is the sommelier of neurotoxins. And I was like, JBK, come with me. I'm going to inject this patient. I want you to critique me, and don't you dare be nice to me. Break it down. I want you to just beat me up here. And listen, what she showed me was an aha.
Yeah.
And so
you can learn from them.
Right.
As well.
So should I have my nose up because I'm a dermatologist and she's not? That's stupid. It's
you're
idiotic.
Preaching to the choir. I love it.
And so I just don't think that way. And if you think that way, I'm sorry, I got something to tell you. You're probably going to get left behind.
Yeah. I agree. What I'm trying to do, though, is I want to break. I need to talk to some of those societies to get them start, because we do need to have a dialogue. What I've found doing, and this is just maybe me shaking my fist at the rain, right? But it's I spend a lot of my time. I know, like you said before, it's we've got to elevate the industry, train everybody.
Yes.
Get rid of these bad actors that are doing stupid shit that I don't want. Those are the people that we are all battling, including the derms, including us. And so it pains me when I see them trying to fight against some of the good because some of them don't like Julie Bass-Kaplan.
I'm sure they don't.
And
I love her.
And I do too.
Praise be the queen.
She's amazing. And it's so we got to get on the same page somehow. I don't know that we ever will. But
you know what? Here's the other thing is it stems from a place of scarcity, right? It's a scarcity mindset.
It is.
And the total addressable market is not even remotely nearly tapped into.
Not even close.
We're at the tip of the iceberg.
But then
there's other macroeconomic forces that are at play that is going to make it hard for that total addressable market to actually be addressed. However, in time, what we will find is that those that have an abundance mindset are more likely to do well, and those that have a scarcity mindset, they're their own worst enemies. And so, listen, I think what I've enjoyed is working with companies, especially Allergan, that invest in education for everyone and see even unbranded education. For example, the HA sentiment stuff that we've been doing with Allergan, that's not for Juve. They could just as easily have made that about Juvederm. They didn't. They made it about unbranded HA. That's good for everybody. Okay. And I think like same is true with education. Like they are trying to train everyone so that everyone does well. Of course, it's good for them, but it's good for also not them, right? Including their competitors. And I think ultimately the only company that I see really investing heavily in research and heavily in education, it's AbbVie, right? It's like AbbVie funding through Allergan. And I think what we're seeing there now, it's like, it's something to behold.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. I don't know enough about all the other ones, but I mean, certainly they are the behemoth,
right?
And they have the ability to do it. And if they don't lead from the front, no one's going to do it.
And I think right now what we're seeing is the tapping into those resources positively. I think we'll see now like for example, there's a lot of investment happening in direct-to-consumer marketing and traditional media, legacy media. So, that's like, if you are watching Netflix and you see a Botox ad, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Right? I think so. It's driving customers to your practice. Yesterday, something happened that I did really like. And this is like a little pet peeve of mine, totally off topic. But so I don't like when people say the word clients about patients. And
I get it.
Yesterday, this came up about like patients and calling them patients. And the reason I like that is because client to me is a transaction, right? If I go to my accountant or someone else that's transacting business with me, I'm their client.
Yeah.
But with the patient, you have a therapeutic alliance. And so I'm not transacting for my gain with a patient. I'm potentially I might do things that are not financially to my benefit in the benefit and service of this patient.
Yeah.
Right. And that's something that I think that word is something that you'll see from modern aesthetics and other things like me kind of hammering their patients and not clients. I think just changing some language cues around some of this stuff. Also, it's like, if you think about what we're really trying to accomplish is shift perception, shift public perception, shift narratives such that people who have podiums, who have platforms to speak from can start shifting the narratives for patients. And so one way that happens is through, all this direct-to-consumer marketing, legacy media, whatever it might be. The other way it happens is from, the viewership of this podcast who has a platform on their socials, choosing to send the right messages. And so those messages of positivity, of abundance. Let me give you an example. So if I was going to show a patient who had bad lip filler, if I show the dissolving of that lip filler and then the refilling of that lip filler, maybe my followers that are providers will find that interesting, but the average patient will be off-put by that. Why? Because they might think that bad outcome might happen to me. And so that bad outcome might happen to me. So instead of doing that, the key would be then, don't show the dissolving, just show what a beautiful result you made. Then when you're at AmSpa and you want to show your dissolving process from podium to these people, great, do that. But from your socials that are targeting patients, don't do that. So these messages of positivity, the language that we use, this sort of narrative shift, this is how we start raising the tide back up so that perception to the public becomes positive.
Yeah, that was an interesting point that I learned with the Filler Sentiment campaign about amplifying the wrong type of language, which is intuitive and makes total sense, but you just don't think about it because you want to talk about what's out there.
Yeah, you think it's cool. And it is cool,
and
but
the patients are talking about it. You're talking about it. It's like you talk about it, but it's not necessarily helpful, and that's counterintuitive, but you want to do it anyway.
Right.
I agree with you about patients versus clients because they are patients. That's what they are.
They're patients. Yeah, no, they are.
The
medical board will certainly tell you that they are.
Yeah. I wish they wouldn't call it. I wish we could go back in time and not call it med spa. Because I think that has hurt. The word spa has been a
problematic word. But it's stuck
from the beginning, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, it's here to stay. So, no, I'm with you on that. But I think, again, what I see is like for everyone has a platform. Even if you have 10 followers, 20 followers, that's 20 people that are listening to you. If you have 20,000 followers, 200,000 followers, 2 million followers, even more people are listening to you. So if we can create a groundswell of like the right language, that's a positive change for the good of the industry and for the good of patients.
It's good talking to you. I gotta run. Appreciate this. Was awesome.
Finally, this week, a chat with Kate D about her work with a different kind of research into practice safety standards and the creation of a certification program.
Welcome to the podcast.
Medical Spa Insider, Kate D, Dr. Kate D. Thank you for joining us.
Well, I'm happy to be here.
I mean, we so much to talk about, so much to catch up on.
We do. There's been so much going on this year.
First of all, we're at MSS. Are you enjoying yourself? I mean,
yeah, it's been 24 hours of total chaos and talking nonstop.
I feel like last night we were at the members reception, and I had a beer. I don't really drink that much anymore, but I had a beer, and I didn't set it down for 3 hours because I just didn't stop talking the whole time. It was crazy.
It was like that for me too.
Yeah. So we have medical spa board that you've been working on.
Yeah.
Which folks need to hear about. And then obviously you still have your medical spa, and then all of your other passion projects that you're working on. What's most important to you?
Well, I became an empty nester last fall, so
really?
I've had a lot of extra time to pour into the med spa board. So
how does that
3
feel?
kids in college right now, kind of insane.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for 529s. Is all I can say.
Oh wait, what does that mean?
College savings plans.
Oh. Yeah, sorry.
So the med spa board kind of came out of my podcast and the book. So I published that book a couple years ago, and I've had this podcast ever since, and I have now met so many people who are similarly passionate about the way the industry's gone, right? Like, the industry's fantastic. We do a lot of great stuff, and it's real medicine, okay? It's real medicine. But so many illegal actors have entered into the med spa space, whether they call themselves a med spa or not. They're busy doing, injectables and energy devices without a medical license. They're ordering fake product off the internet. They're using cheap Chinese knockoffs that are not FDA approved.
That's right.
They're using dangerous devices, and they don't have a license to practice medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no medical director. It's crazy. And the issue that I have with it is that there's just been very little law enforcement, although we have seen more arrests here and there. But for the most part, the industry has skyrocketed, and the vast majority of that growth has been illegal actors. And so what I felt like was the answer to that, and I've had a whole team of people join me, is the Med Spa Board certifies med spas that are already doing things the right way. They're legally compliant. They've got a real medical director who's actually medically directing. They're using real product. Everybody's licensed. All this stuff, right?
Yep.
And we do have a compliance checklist that I created that's free.
Yep.
I don't know for sure if it's on the website yet, but it's definitely downloadable. I don't know how we can make that
And
available
this is just
for your people.
like a checklist of things that would have to be accomplished in order to be certified.
Yes, and it's true. It's national standards.
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, we interview the medical director to make sure that they're real, right? And it's a really simple process. So the application's less than 15 minutes. It does require that we talk to the medical director to make sure that they are really doing what they say. And then they get all these digital assets for their social media, their website. I was just inside the exhibition hall talking to a marketing company, and they're like, we can market the heck out of that, okay? So there's authority marketing where you prove that you are legit, that you're the expert, and this will help take the legit spas that are really up there practicing at a high level, beat the illegal competition, because right now there's no way for consumers to know. New patients looking for Botox near me, and my spa with doctors and nurse practitioners and PAs and people who are doing everything the right way, we look the same as the illegal place down the street. It's really hard, and it's hard to say, hey, come to us, we're legit, but this actually puts a label on that. And I think it's really huge. So for me, it's all about promotion of the people who are legit, not so much punishing the people who are cutting corners. Like, we're actually there to help those people also get compliant, refer them to the right place to do that if we can't do it. I mean, if it's so far out that we can't help them. But that's why the compliance checklist will be helpful, so people can look and go, oh, I think I'm missing one thing. That might be kind of big, right? And
so are you also checking like licensures?
Yes, we're checking every provider's license, their NPI and their state license, and
how
making sure.
Are you able to check experience level?
Well, that's the thing. We are not certifying individual injectors. And I think that AmSpa's moved into more training and certification of at the injector level or at the provider level. You know, we are not doing that. We're not guaranteeing results. We're not, you know, like, oh, this person has 10 years of experience, which, you know, versus this person with 1 year. We're really just guaranteeing that they have all the correct licensure and oversight. So, and if it's a new provider, then they've got oversight by somebody who knows what they're doing. The medical director actually has to be not just knowledgeable in aesthetics and available to direct clinical care when needed and respond to emergencies. They've got to be on the website. They have to actually be part of the team. So you can't just have a gastroenterologist who works at the hospital, you know, 100 miles away and doesn't know anything about aesthetics. That's not, that person's not going to get certified. Right. But then you can market the heck out of that. And our plan is to do direct-to-consumer marketing with our national directory and our website and doing as much kind of spreading the word among the public. So, I mean, we are in the works. You almost
have to, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the only way it works.
Public got to be able to recognize this as a symbol of excellence, as a symbol of just legitimacy. Because truly, you know, those other places, if they do get caught, it's a felony. Okay, it's a felony to practice medicine without a license.
It is.
Whether you're completely unlicensed or you've got a nursing license that doesn't allow you to practice medicine, it's a felony. Yep. And we have had a number of arrests in the last few months even.
Well, and that's
just exactly
I
that.
mean, just that is just the death knell for your license as a physician.
Oh.
Like that's a killer. So just some small goals.
Yeah, well, just some small goals. Just try to change the world or just our industry. I think what the big thing for me is that all the legit places, we have been absorbing the reputational damage that those bad actors have been producing. And we suffer from that. We lose patients, money, and our whole reputation becomes sullied. And I know that you know about this.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because you're out there representing the industry, and it's like, and it's hard when you know, my colleagues who are in traditional medicine, you know, see what I'm doing, they're like, oh, how's that going? I just heard about the, you know.
Well, I mean, you're also the author of a book called Med Spa Mayhem, so it's like you are.
Well,
so you are knee deep in that. So you're the. You know,
I am. I mean, that I thought I was going to just get out of my system. Okay, I just was like, okay, this is going on. Nobody's talking about it. I'm just going to write the book, get that out of my system. And instead, that just led to more things. So it led to the podcast, which now has a title, Med Spa Confidential. That's the podcast. Yeah. And which you've been on. And
which is interesting because it's not really confidential because you're a podcast.
Well, but it's telling the truth.
Yes.
And just like Anthony Bourdain in Kitchen Confidential, like he's telling the truth behind the stuff that people didn't know about the restaurant industry.
Yes.
And we're telling the truth, good and bad. I mean, you know, he still produced amazing food and introduced the public really to amazing food, right? Well, we're doing amazing work. The med spa industry is it's actually really good. It's just, we are really tainted by these people who aren't. Yeah. And I just, you know, we really need to move beyond. I mean, I love compliance is cool, but it's not cool enough for everybody to do it. So there has to be some advantage. And that's why
compliance is really cool.
It's so cool. But creating a marketing advantage by being able to put yourself out as like, hey, I'm an expert, I'm compliant, everybody's licensed, and we all know what we're doing, and we're doing it the right way. Now you can get an actual monetary advantage from doing that. And we haven't really been able to make that happen. And so I think that we can now. And everybody kind of needs to get it and realize like, okay, it's not just the right thing to do to be compliant, but actually doing that and then telling everybody about it and talking about it. Yeah. It gives you a big marketing advantage and puts, you know, it's differentiation from that illegal place down the street. And in talking to docs over the last 24 hours, everybody's got at least a few of these illegal places down the street or in the neighborhood that they're so frustrated with because like, you know, they have this place, they're using fake Botox and they have no medical director. Yeah. And how do we compete with that? They're charging $9 a unit and and they ask us, why are you charging so much more? And it's like, actual Botox costs more.
Yeah, because you can't charge what they're charging. That is literally impossible.
It cannot be legal. Like, that's what I tell people.
I do the same thing. So you know how I feel. I mean, I think it's, and I'm in full agreement with everything. I think we're going to have a very, very difficult time doing this, but I think it's worthy. It's a worthy goal.
I think so. I think.
I think what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
And I guess it's just me just being like, there's a lot of people who are kind of in between, that aren't. And those are
most of the things, but not all.
They know they're not gonna buy illegal products. They're gonna be trained. They're gonna know how to deal with complications ish, but they're not fully bought in to the compliance. And that's where it's like, those are the people that frustrate me the most, because it's like, I've been telling the same story for damn near 20 years. And I still talk to plastic surgeons who know better, but they don't know better. The truth is they just don't. Like I say, your RN is not allowed.
RN cannot see new patients.
Yeah, it's not allowed to do that.
You've never seen them.
And they really don't.
They don't realize that.
They don't know it. And it's like, well, how can you not know that? But they don't know it. And they're like,
but
I was never
that's
taught
such an easy
that.
thing to solve, because they can hire an NP or a PA to do the good faith exam.
I totally agree. But they don't, to them, it's like mind blowing. Oh, I got to switch my whole model. And so it's like we're shifting the world beneath their feet. And I'm not saying they need to do it, or they need to fix it, period.
Right. Well, I do think that, one, we're going to be down the line, because we're a startup, so it's pretty new, but down the line, we're going to be offering various courses and webinars to help people become compliant, especially if they're close and they just need one or two things, because once you do, and then you can, use that marketing advantage.
And the marketing advantage has to mean something.
It will absolutely mean something. I mean, it already means something, but it will over time translate into more dollars, more patients, and more confidence of the person walking in that your spa is the place to go. So we are going to be providing those kinds of help for people who are close to compliance. And then what I'm looking to do down the line is help develop a referral network for people where they want to start a new med spa, and we're going to help them do it right from the get-go, rather than setting up something that's not really legal and then trying to mold that into something that is actually compliant. Because I think that's really common, is so many people, they get a skill and they're like, I want to take this and open my own place, and they storm ahead and do it without realizing that so many parts of what they're doing is not legal. Or not legal.
So I'm just a little off topic, but not. I'm curious. Do you still go back to your physician meetings where you meet some of your old pals and they say, "What are you doing with med spa?"
In breast cancer?
Yeah, or
no, no, I don't.
The conferences where they go "What are you doing?"
Oh God, that's so funny. I do have physician connections in other ways, locally in Seattle, and then also from medical school and stuff. I don't go to breast cancer meetings anymore. I don't miss breast cancer. I mean, people keep asking me that. Yeah. And it's been over 10 years now, close to 12 years that I've been away from that world. But of course, I have a ton of friends, and they do ask me. And interestingly, as I've gotten older, I think they're a little more convinced that it's worth it, because they look a lot older than I do. I mean, I'm 58, so I'm getting up there. But I don't look weird. So that myth of needing to look weird to be doing med spa, no, I have no filler in my face. I don't look weird. Just try to have good skin, and so I think actually have a little more kind of consideration from my old colleagues than I used to, because when I first did this, they all thought I was crazy. Yeah. Because it's still the Wild West, but back then, it really was very fringy,
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. For sure it was. I mean, some of the regenerative medicine that's blending in right now
makes some of that is problematic because there's no data behind it, and so
It makes me think
and then some things are quite dangerous, like that stem cell thing. I don't know. I just at this legal panel I was on, it was a med spa that had added stem cells, and they were advertising it as a cure for all kinds of incurable diseases, and so they got dinged for false advertising.
As they
got they got sued by the Attorney General. But then also just recently, there was a $24 million settlement in a wrongful death case against them. And I think that the regenerative medicine stuff is a little more dangerous because they're infusing stem cells in IVs and they're injecting stem cells into joints and things where not only is there no data to support that, but there's no quicker way to kill someone than infuse something the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And, in that wrongful death case, they put stem cells in an epidural, so near the spinal cord, and the guy was on blood thinners and he bled and his brain herniated and he died.
Oh God.
So that's
terrible.
Malpractice for so many different reasons. But I do think that it's a little more dangerous that part of the industry going in that direction.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I think the longevity stuff, where people are just sort of maximizing health. I think that's really interesting, and I do think that that's less dangerous, right? You're not injecting people generally unless you're doing peptides, which is a whole nother morass.
Whole nother.
But so I do think it's really interesting as the industry's expanding. I just think that in order for us to have integrity as an industry, we need to have some kind of certification standards.
We need an anchor, something to anchor us down.
Yes,
that's what the word we were just using, and I think we have to, and it's past time. Because otherwise, there's gonna be problems.
Yeah, and at the Med Spa board, we started out with the recommendations that came out of that committee at AmSpa here back. I want to say 6 years ago. We started with that. We maybe added a few safety things to that. But for the most part, like anyone who's operating legitimately would be able to get certified.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, congratulations. It's a huge endeavor.
Well, it's a huge. Don't congratulate me yet. But
I know. I mean, just you've
hopefully
started.
Hopefully, we will be successful and really help elevate the industry.
Even what you've done, even the start is a step.
Yeah.
It is. So it's like, and without that step, no matter what happens, there wouldn't be another step. And so I think it's all happening. So I really appreciate all your hard work. We will talk more. I think there's a role for AmSpa to play in this. There's a role if all of us.
Well, I think that if we all help our colleagues get legally compliant, because it's so cool, but then market the heck out of that and do well with it. I think that's key, right? Otherwise, we won't get buy-in if we don't provide some kind of value. Yeah.
Well, we're here for you, and I can't wait to hear more. Well, I know we'll talk more about this, but it's amazing to see what you've accomplished so far. And I know you haven't done it alone,
far, so good.
but it's really you've worked
really
tirelessly.
Cool logo. Our digital badges and all our assets look beautiful. So
I can't wait to see them. Yeah,
they do
awesome.
look really great on people's websites.
That's cool. So medicalspaboard.com, right?
Yes.
Medicalspa.org.
And of course, the podcast is MedSpa Confidential.
Yep.
And that's everywhere.
Yep.
You can find podcasts.
Yep.
And you could buy the book.
Yeah.
It's Med Spa Mayhem, and it's on Audible. So
it's an eye-opening book too. I have to say it was startling.
Well, it was. So you asked me about my medical colleagues.
Yeah.
Many of my medical colleagues have read the book.
Yeah.
And they are blown away by what's going on in our industry because they don't know.
Yeah.
And that was their first oh my God, it's crazy. And I'm like, it's a little crazy.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to address that.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming by. It was great to talk to you as always.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you to our producer, Madeline Moeller, Marketing Content Coordinator, who organizes the podcast schedule and guests and provides topics and talking points. Audio and video editing, voiceover, graphics, and platform management is provided by myself, Derek Hawk, Digital Marketing Supervisor. Our themes are provided by Maka Music. Thank you for watching or listening to the Medical Spa Insider Podcast. Please follow or subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast and subscribe to our YouTube channel for future episodes. Ratings and reviews are greatly appreciated. For more information about the American Med Spa Association, visit americanmedspa.org. Reference to any specific product or entity does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by AmSpa. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance in the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity that they represent. AmSpa provides this podcast as a local service for educational purposes only. This podcast does not constitute legal advice, nor does it establish an attorney-client relationship. Please consult with an attorney on your legal issues. And as always, thank you for listening to the Medical Spa Insider. Remember, compliance is cool.